What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Subaru Outback Wilderness. Huge thank you to Tyler Wright over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Outback Wilderness or any Subaru product, I'll be sure to have Tyler's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. Moving right on into the video, the Outback Wilderness did get a few subtle updates for the 2024 model year, and a couple of those things being, at least here on the exterior, slightly updated styling here at the front end with a more aggressive front bumper and a more open style grille than the 2023 model year. But let's just jump right into the review video and let's start up here at the hood. So you guys do get a vinyl stripe that is satin black at the center of your hood. So if you guys don't like this, you could theoretically peel this off and then it's just a fully white hood. But working our way into our headlights, these are the same headlights that you find on the 2023 Outback Wilderness as well, but you guys do get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights towards the bottom of your front bumper. They call these like hexagonal LED fog lights, if you guys were interested in knowing that. But working our way into the updated front grille, you may be able to tell right off the bat, if you guys are an Outback Wilderness fan, that this is definitely a more open style grille with your Subaru logo located at the center of the grille. Coming down just a tad, this is your front 180 degree view camera. No, it does not go with your 360 camera. You get a forward facing camera and a rear view camera on the Outback Wilderness, but you don't get side cameras. And then just below your camera, you kind of have like this mountainous design below the camera, which personally I didn't notice on the 2023 Outback Wilderness, so I believe that is probably also new for the 2024 model year. And then coming back just a tad, let's take a look at our front bumper. So you may be able to tell that this is an updated front bumper. It looks a little bit more aggressive. You definitely have different styling right there and right there with those different, more of a hexagonal, I guess, design in the sides of the front bumper, where I think the other ones were just like straight lines. So definitely more aggressive in that sense. And then, as you may be able to tell, the bumper is obviously satin black. And then you guys do get two integrated toe points towards the front of the front bumper, and they are covered by that copper trim. You get those little arrows pointing to where you take those copper trim pieces off. And then you also do get a small scuff plate at the bottom of your front bumper, like about right here. It looks like it is aluminum. And then if you guys were wondering about the ground clearance with the Wilderness, you get 9.5 inches of ground clearance, again, with the Wilderness. And then coming down along the side, that satin black bumper leads nicely into these satin black wheel arch moldings. Basically, the idea behind the satin black bumper, satin black arch moldings, is basically to, instead of scuffing up your paint when you're off-roading or driving through a narrow trail or something like that, you're going to be actually scuffing the satin black plastic rather than, again, your beautiful white, blue, black, whatever color, paint color that you guys have. You're scuffing this stuff up, which doesn't really matter as much as scuffing up your paint. But coming down just a tad beneath here, you guys do get an off-road tuned and raised independent suspension and active torque vectoring with the Outback Wilderness. And then coming down just a tad bit more, you guys get these 17-inch matte black wheels, and they are wrapped in a 225/65 Yokohama Geolander all-terrain tire. Give you a view of the tread pattern on that tire there real quick. Coming back up to here, you guys do get a windshield wiper de-icer, as well as these Subaru Wilderness badges on your front two doors. And then coming up just a bit, you guys do also get these black finish mirrors with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, power adjustable, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the inside of the mirror about right there and also about right there. And those three things do come standard. However, this one also has the optional $287 auto dimming exterior mirrors with the approach light. So if somebody's approaching you at night, they got their high beams on, let's say, and these side view mirrors will auto dim. And then if you guys are, you know, coming up to the vehicle at night, you also get a approach light here and obviously on that side as well to basically illuminate this area at night, just to make it a little bit easier to step in and out of the vehicle with some more visibility again at night. But working our way back to the top, you do get these black raised roof rails with copper accents, one copper accent there, one copper accent over there as well. And then you also do get a 700-pound static load capacity with these roof rails as well. So you potentially could set up a rooftop tent and camp on the top of your Outback Wilderness if that is something that you wanted to do. Let's do a little side profile action of the Outback Wilderness. I love how this is kind of like, I know it's kind of considered like a wagon, but it's more of like an SUV wagon-ish. If an SUV and a wagon had a baby, that's kind of how I would describe the Outback. But you also do get black window trim, body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind that your keyless access function is only on your front two doors. So come up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, the vehicle will unlock, and then you can run your finger across these two hash marks here on the bottom and the top of your door handle, about right there again. And then all the way at the bottom of your passenger doors, you get some more of that satin black cladding with your Outback lettering on your back two doors, again in that copper color, just to accent the roof rails as well as the tow hooks on the front and rear nicely. Coming to the back, satin black shark fin antenna. You get a body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light. Obviously you get a rear window defroster as well as a single speed rear wiper. You get a black taillight bezel coming in. I believe these are incandescent taillights, but you see that black taillight bezel, black badging back here as well. Subaru Wilderness badging on the right hand side of the lift gate. You have your Subaru badge located at the center of the liftgate. This is a hands-free and a power liftgate. So to use the hands-free function, all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, put your hand about right there, and the liftgate will open up. You also do get a backup camera on there. I'll show you guys that here in a second. But with the Outback Wilderness, you guys do get StarTex water repellent upholstery. So let's say, you know, you go on a hike and your dog, let's say, jumps in this disgusting water down in there. And then, you know, obviously you have to bring your dog back home with you, but your dog is itchy because he just got in the water and he's rubbing up the back of these seats trying to get that itch relieved. And you guys can see, you know, if you didn't have the water repellent upholstery, then your dog would turn the seat backs moldy. But again, with the Wilderness, you do get that StarTex water repellent upholstery that makes your dog happy, as you may be able to tell. Coming back here, you get a grocery bag holder right there. You have these door handles on both sides of the trunk. Basically, if you pull on that door handle, your seats will drop in the second row, and this side does the same exact thing. You do also get all-weather floor mats. You get an all-weather cargo liner back here with your Subaru Wilderness badging at the center. 12-volt power outlet here. And then the Wilderness does come standard with the Harman Kardon sound system. So that is one of the speakers back here that may be a subwoofer, not 100% sure. And then you get the sub or whatever speaker that is on the driver's side. And then on the passenger side, you get a little storage cubby where you could set your jumper cables back in there if that's what you wanted to do. And then just underneath this here, you have a little thing that you can open to reveal your spare tire, your jack, your tow hook, or any of the necessities to change a tire or get you unstuck if you guys get stuck in a mud puddle or something like that. You also do get a light back here as well that is LED, by the way, on your cargo or on your power lift gate. And then coming over here, you can lock the vehicle, and then you can also close the power lift gate by the push of that button. And then that is also a cargo area protector, so basically thieves can't see the contents of which you have in your trunk when that cargo area protector is on there. Just underneath your Subaru emblem is where you will find a backup camera. Coming down just a little bit more, let's take a little booty shot of the Outback Wilderness. Coming down, you guys obviously may be able to tell that you do get a black rear bumper, but one thing that I failed to mention here on the interior is that this one has been optioned with the $99 cargo sidewall protectors, which are here and there. So let's say your dog rubs up against these as well, you don't have to worry because these are basically like a floor mat covering that carpeting back there. But anyway, coming back down, sorry, I had to incorporate that into the video. Satin black rear bumper. You have those 2 integrated tow points, again with that copper colored trim above them, and then you also do get 4 backup sensors and a dual exhaust back here. That's a look at one of your exhaust tips. That's a look at the other exhaust tip. And if you guys were wondering about the max tow capacity, the max tow capacity of the Outback Wilderness is 3,500 pounds. And then this particular one also has the optional $1,845 option package 22, which gives you reverse automatic braking. And then opening up your fuel door. The vehicle does have to be unlocked in order to open up the fuel door, so bear with me here for a second. So unlock the vehicle. 87 octane will do you just fine. But let me know what you guys think of the changes on the 2024 Outback Wilderness. Do you guys like them, or do you guys prefer the styling of the 2023 model year? Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.4 liter boxer turbo 4-cylinder that makes 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a high torque lineartronic CVT for a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 21 miles per gallon in the city, 26 miles per gallon on the highway, for 23 miles per gallon combined with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. So I know those fuel economy numbers may not sound like the best coming out of a 4-cylinder. However, if you guys get behind the wheel of this thing, you may be able to realize how peppy this thing actually is when you guys are driving it down the road. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I am now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your guys' help. So if you guys have taken anything from the video so far today, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned to you guys earlier on in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. Let's take a look at what the Wilderness has to offer here, at least on the driver's side door panel. And then we'll get into that stuff here in a minute. But you do get a star text wrapped armrest that is nicely padded with some accent colored stitching, and then you get some more of that star text up top here as well. It basically flows through to down here. So basically all of this is star text wrapped. Then you get some faux carbon fiber trim, a black door handle, power mirror controls right there, unlock and your lock functions, automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. This is to restrict your passenger window privileges. One thing I really appreciate about Subarus is that they always think of a great spot to set your phone. So that is a iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it fits down in there no problem. You get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space about from there to there, and then you got a spot you could set a Deer Park water bottle just to the right of that. And then coming down, like I mentioned earlier on in the video when we were back in the trunk space, the Harman Kardon sound system does come standard with the Wilderness. And then taking a look at these seats again, just like the door panel, you guys also get the StarTex water repellent upholstery, obviously on your seats as well. You get the Subaru Wilderness embossed into your headrests. One thing I really like about Subaru products is that the headrests are adjustable, so you can adjust them exactly how you like them to be. 10-way power driver seat, 8-way power front passenger seat with the Wilderness, and then you also get lumbar controls on the driver's seat. But stepping on into the interior, this is what the interior looks like. Like I mentioned, keyless access. That also means you do get push button start. Just make sure you have your key fob in the interior, push your foot down on the brake, and then push to start. And that is what the vehicle sounds like when it fires up. I want to make sure I have the volume all the way down and the climate control system off, so the audio is good for you guys listening. All right, we'll start down here, then work our way throughout the interior. That is to open and or close your power lift gate. This scroll knob here is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster and your backlit buttons. That is to turn the hands-free lift gate on or off. You do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. What I mean by that is that you can push it forward, you can pull it back, and then you can also move it up and down to your liking. And then taking a look at the steering wheel, this is what the steering wheel looks like. You get some more of that copper trim here on the interior as well. Copper color accent stitching on the inside of the steering wheel. I can't tell if this is a leather wrapped steering wheel or a StarTex wrapped steering wheel, but I'm gonna lean towards leather. Let's take a look at our turn signal stock. This is also your high beam control stock, your headlight control stock, and your fog light control stock. But first, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. And then twisting this all the way down is headlights off, one up, headlights automatic. that's daytime running lights on, and then flipping that up all the way is headlights in the always on position. And then this is fog lights off, this is fog lights on. Just keep in mind that during the day, when the headlights are in the automatic mode and the headlights are not actually on, your fog lights will not be on, even though they might be in the on position. So watch what happens when I flip the headlights into the always on position. Then the fog lights will turn on. But in the automatic position, the fog lights will not be on. Thought I might point that out to you guys. And then coming back, taking a look at the steering wheel itself. So what's new to the 2024 Wilderness includes a heated steering wheel. So you do get a heated steering wheel that you can turn on by the push of that button. When it turns amber, that means the heated steering wheel is on. Flip that again, the heated steering wheel turns back on. So again, heated steering wheel is new to the Wilderness for the 2024 model year. You do also get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, downshift paddle on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, upshift paddle on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. Let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the Outback Wilderness horn sounds like. Coming over to here, this is to go backwards on a track, this is to go forwards on a track. This is to switch between your different AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth audio, USB, auxiliary jack. Those are all your different media sources by the push of that button. And then these up and down arrows are to control your productivity screen located at the center of your gauge cluster. This is to pick up on a phone call. This is to hang up on a phone call and or mute the audio system. This is to speak to the vehicle. So basically you can ask the vehicle to do, you know, something for you, whether it's like the climate control system or something like that. That is to volume down. That is to volume up. Adaptive cruise control does come standard on the Wilderness. So these are your adaptive cruise control settings and your driver assistance settings. Again, that is to turn your heated steering wheel on or off. And then that is your windshield wiper control stock for your front windshield wipers and your rear wiper. Moving on into the gauge cluster, you may be able to tell you do get a copper outline on your two exterior gauges. Again, that follows the copper theme from the outside on into the interior. I think that is pretty cool. So you get your RPM gauge on the left hand side, you get your speedometer on the right hand side. This is your coolant temperature gauge, and then that is your fuel gauge. You may be able to see the fuel pump is pointing to the right hand side of the vehicle. That means you fill the vehicle up with fuel on the passenger's side. That goes for any vehicle made today. And then up top here is your instant fuel economy stuff. So right now it's letting us know that we're getting bad fuel economy. However, let's say we're coasting down a hill, this would come to this side, basically showing that we are getting better fuel economy. And then that is the fuel range stuff. That is the digital speedometer readout. Transmission status lets us know that we're on park. That's auto stop start off. Coming down right here is your odometer, and then that is your trip information. If you guys want to reset your trip A information, come over here, press and hold on this trip reset button, and then those values will reset back down to 0. Again, to control this productivity screen, you have these up and down arrows on the left hand side of your steering wheel. So if I'm going to click up, that brings me into my average A. That is my time and my temperature. That is the audio stuff. That is navigation stuff. That is compass, tire pressure stuff. This is actually a pretty cool screen. So basically when the auto stop start system turns the vehicle off at a stoplight, it will count how long the vehicle has been off for and how much fuel it has saved with the auto stop start system on that particular trip. Going up one more, that's some more fuel economy stuff. And this is probably the screen I'd leave it on so I know what my fuel range is at all times. But that's about it for the gauge cluster. Moving on over to here. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, this is optioned with the $1,845 option package 22. And what you guys get with that is the Starlink 11.6-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation. This screen does come standard with the Wilderness, but with that $1,800 package, you guys get built-in navigation as well as a power sunroof and reverse automatic braking. But let's go throughout this screen. This is your hazard button. That's what the hazards sound like coming down. This is your volume knob. If you press and hold on that, that will turn the display off. Press and hold on that again, and that will cancel that, so this display will stay on. This is your front defroster. You got your driver temperature controls, passenger temperature controls, rear window defroster. This is your tuning knob. If I press and hold on that, that will bring you into your tone settings. Give it a second. Now it brings you into these tone settings. You can go to balance and fader, etc. And then that lets us know if our passenger airbag is on or off. Moving on into the screen, let's go into our home screen. This is what the home screen looks like. So starting from the top, you got your temperature, you got your time, and then that is how much battery my phone has, as well as how much signal my phone has, and lets us know that we are connected to the Bluetooth system. This does also have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So coming up top to here, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to click over one, then that is some navigation stuff. Click over again. That is some of your different temperatures, oil temperatures, and your average speed. That's the weather stuff. And then you also have your X modes. So obviously the Wilderness comes with X modes, whether it be normal mode, snow / dirt, and or deep snow / mud. So those are your different X modes. Right now we are in normal mode. X modes are basically your different drive modes. And then this is your home screen. So you got your map, radio, media, phone, my Subaru, car information stuff, and then swiping over, you can turn the display off by pressing on that button. You can go into valet mode. You got auto vehicle hold. Basically, auto vehicle hold will hold the vehicle in place by itself with its braking system. That is basically traction control on or off, and then you can add another shortcut, which is basically like one of these buttons here. Coming down, that will bring you into your vehicle stuff, vehicle control. This is that, and then this is your driver assistance stuff, and then you can go into some more settings. And then that button right there is to turn the auto stop start system on or off. That is your home button. This is to bring you into your different phones that are connected to the infotainment system, and then this is your driver profile stuff. Right now we don't have anything set up. And then all the way down here, basically this part of the screen is your instant climate control stuff. You do get heated front seats with 3 levels of adjustability. If you guys want your climate control stack to take up the entire screen, click right here, and then that will take up the entire screen. And that is what your climate control screen looks like on the infotainment system. This is your electronic parking brake. Coming over to here, you get your auxiliary jack, a USB-C port, and a USB-A port. I'm pretty sure you can get a wireless charging pad as an option. This one does not have it, but I'll put the price of that on screen if you can get that with the Wilderness. When we are on the exterior, I mentioned you get a forward-facing camera. So to turn that forward-facing camera and bring that on the screen, you have this physical button there, and then that will pop up the forward-facing camera. On the gear shift selector, just like throughout the entire interior, you get some more copper color trim, and then you get some copper color accent stitching on the shift boot. If you guys want to go into manual mode, put it in drive, flip that over to the left, and now you can control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. I know it's a CVT, but you do get 8 simulated gear shifts. You get 2 cup holders here, get a nicely padded armrest with some accent colored stitching. Opening this up, you could set like business cards here or anything that's about, you know, less than an inch or an inch and a half wide, because remember, this thing has to close. But you also have a lower glove box in here that you can open up by clicking on this one here, and then opening that up. Basically, I would say about 30% of my forearm fits down in here, so you can fit what you need to. And then you also get a 12-volt power outlet towards the front and left. So basically, if you're looking at the infotainment screen, that's where your 12-volt power outlet is located. But closing that back up, you got another great spot. You could set a phone over here on the passenger side. Again, like I said, Subaru always thinks about that kind of stuff. And you also get a lockable glove box, which on a lot of new vehicles nowadays, it seems like they are no longer coming with lockable glove boxes. And then you get a good amount of storage space down in there. You can put your owner's manual, napkins, straws, or any miscellaneous items that you want to put in there. Passenger side looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find on the driver's side, but working our way up to here, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror with your compass and your home link as standard with the Wilderness. So if you guys have 3 different garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 different buttons. Great spot. You can set some sunglasses up top here, as well as a taco if that's what you wanted to put there as well. You get your roadside assistance stuff, basically Subaru Starlink right there. And then these are your door settings or your light settings. So if you guys want the lights always off, you flip that over to the right. If you guys want the lights to turn on when you open up the door, flip that to the left, and now the lights will turn on when I open up door. Again, that's to your personal preference. With the optional package 22, which is an $1,845 option, you get a power sunroof that slides and tilts. Again, that comes with option package 22. And then you got these 2 lights here, your driver light and your passenger light. This particular vehicle does have the optional $107 interior LED light upgrade, so these lights are LED. And Moving on into our visor, the passenger visor is the exact same as the driver, so you get a little spot. You can set money right here, registration, or any small paper product. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, and then this visor also slides both forwards and backwards, which is very, very nice. And then you get your Subaru eyesight stuff behind here. So basically your eyesight cameras are hiding behind this plastic trim piece here. That's basically all your driver assistance features. And then OPOOP handle on the driver side. The passenger side also gets an OPOOP handle over there as well. There were a couple things that I wanted to mention that come standard with the Outback Wilderness, and those things include wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, the Harman Kardon sound system, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel. You also get heated second row seats. You get a 10-way power driver seat and an 8-way power passenger seat, as well as adaptive cruise control does come standard with the Outback Wilderness. And pretty much all Outbacks, even the base model, basically all get the Subaru eyesight stuff, which includes the adaptive cruise control, the lane centering, and all that kind of stuff, which is very nice. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at the safety stuff, the warranty stuff, the different optional stuff that this vehicle has on it. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of this particular 2024 Outback Wilderness is $43,593. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comments down below. Personally, I think that's a pretty good deal, especially considering, you know, this vehicle is actually really nice. It's got plenty of power. You get the wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, you get the sunroof, power lift gate, etc. I think that is a good value for what you get. But I'm going to open up these doors and I want to show you guys what we got going on in the second row seats before we move into the driving portion of the review. So I'm going to fold these seats up. But taking a look at the door panel back here, it looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find in the front automatic up and down windows. You get a great spot. You could set a phone. You get a nicely padded armrest with some more accent colored stitching, black door handle, a little bit of miscellaneous storage space from about here back, and then you got a great spot. You could set a Deer Park water bottle. Moving on in, seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, but you basically have 6 seat back pockets, 3 on this side, 3 on that side. You get the one up top here, the one to the left, and then the one to the right, and then it's the same kind of layout over there on the passenger side. 2 HVAC vents back here. You get a USB-C port and a USB-A port, as well as, like I mentioned, the Wilderness comes standard with heated outboard second row seats with 2 levels of adjustability. Folding this thing back down, you get 2 cup holders as well as a nicely padded armrest. Again, LED interior dome light. You got an OPOOP handle and a spot you could set your dry cleaning, and you have the same stuff over there on the passenger's side as well. These second row seats are pretty darn comfortable. I've got plenty of leg room. I've got plenty of knee room, as well as plenty of headroom as well. Actually, tons of headroom, more than honestly I expected. I'm not sure if you can recline these seats, but I'm gonna try. Nope, that's as far back as they will go. But honestly, these seats are nice and comfortable. But we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the 2024 Outback Wilderness. So I want to see what this thing is like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now onto the driving portion of the review, where I always start my videos here. I go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour and then rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. It did very well over that first speed bump. And it does have the off-road tuned suspension, so I'd kind of expect it to do pretty well over bumps. So let's see, 5 miles an hour. I'm gonna have to give this thing an 8.45. It did very well over those speed bumps. And just keep in mind, nothing will ever be a 10. 9 is pretty darn near perfect. So this did very, very well over those speed bumps there. And also, let's see what the body roll is like. Okay, so there is a little bit of body roll, but just keep in mind, you know, this isn't made to handle. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a handling vehicle. If you want a handling vehicle, you're gonna get a WRX or, you know, a Subaru Legacy Sport or an Impreza RS for the 2024 model year. So this is something I think those of you guys who maybe, you know, live in the country and you do a lot of driving on like your gravel road, for example. Your gravel road has a lot of potholes because you don't have a rake behind your big tractor. So this will do very well on a gravel road. This will do well, you know, on a relatively muddy road, I think, with the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. But don't expect this to do any rock crawling or anything like that, because yeah, you know, it's the Outback Wilderness. It's got some pretty good ground clearance. It's got those pretty beefy tires, but the reality is, you know, this isn't a rock crawler. If you want a rock crawler or something that can do some serious rock crawling, then you're going to want to get a Bronco or a Wrangler or something along those lines. But you know, this thing, you know, it might be able to go on like a very easy rock crawling trail, but the reality is, if this was my car, I don't think I would put it on something like that. But I know some of you guys out there may just do it anyway, which, you know, power to you. I would like to see a video of you guys doing that, because I think that would be pretty cool. But anyways, you know, this thing handles itself very well on road. It does a very good job soaking up bumps and just being a quiet interior. And it's also, like I mentioned to you guys earlier on in the video when I was talking about the performance stuff, it has quite a bit of power. That thing sounds pretty good, honestly. It's got that side exit exhaust. That was pretty sweet. Anyways, back into this video. Yeah, this thing has plenty of get up and go, and I've done a couple 0 to 60 tests, so if you guys want to check those out, they're in like my shorts section of my channel, of the Outback Wilderness. It was a 2023, granted, but they didn't add any more power for the 2024 model year, so it didn't really change that much in that sense. But if you guys, you know, want to have a little bit of fun, maybe you're listening to one of your favorite songs and you just feel like, you know, jamming out and driving a little bit faster, and you want to be able to control the transmission yourself, like I mentioned, flip this over to the left, and now we can control the transmission. So now I'm going to show you guys what the paddle shifter response is like. First gear, shift. So, you know, it behaves like a CVT, but shift. I'm not sure if you guys were able to pick up on that, but once you get 2,500, 3,000 RPM, this thing starts to rip. Like, watch. I'll downshift it. It really starts to pull, especially in a lower gear. I'll show you guys, you know, a little bit of an acceleration later on in this video, but just take a listen to what it sounds like at 58. Road noises to a minimum, wind noises to a minimum, and that's why I was quiet there for a couple of seconds, so you guys could kind of experience what it's like to hear and drive, and just experience what it's like to drive one of these without actually having to go out and test drive it. So like I mentioned this earlier on in the video, see how it's counting how long the vehicle has been off for, and wait a second, see how it's now counting how much fuel has been saved with the auto stop start system turning the vehicle off. You can see that the vehicle's off because we're on 0 RPMs, and obviously an engine's not going to run when at 0 RPMs, but I think that is a pretty cool feature. Also, another thing I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to let this car go. I'm going to wait a couple seconds and you'll see what happens. Focus on this screen when that car goes ahead. Take a watch, just watch. See it, vehicle ahead has moved. That's one of my favorite features in the Subaru EyeSight suite of features. Little acceleration. I'm telling you guys, this thing gets up out of its own way, no problem. It's got plenty of power. But yeah, I really like that feature where it lets you know that the vehicle ahead has moved. And I always mention that in pretty much all of my Subaru review videos. And one thing that I like about Subaru as a brand as a whole is that I believe pretty much, or if not all of their vehicles, come standard with adaptive cruise control and a couple other safety features, which is something that I personally appreciate. Now, I know on a lot of, like on the lower trim levels of vehicles, they don't incorporate the blind spot as standard, but they incorporate the adaptive cruise control as standard, which is something that I like. And obviously this one has both as standard because it's one of the higher trim levels in the Outback, in their Outback lineup. But yeah, I mean, this thing rides very, very well. Sound system sounds really good. I was listening to a couple songs on it, and it definitely sounds good. I love how it's got the wireless CarPlay. It's got the wireless Android Auto. The only neg, I guess I could say, about the Outback, or really Subaru in general, besides the Ascent with the higher trim levels, is that they really need to incorporate a 360-degree view camera system. That was pretty cool. That actually let me know, like, way far in advance that that guy was coming up fast. I don't know if the camera picked that up in its peripheral view, but that car was coming up fast. And, you know, when it was you know, quite a ways back, it had kind of alerted me that that car was going to be coming up with that light, with the blind spot monitor. I thought that was really, really cool. I've never experienced that before. But once this light turns green, I'll show you guys a little mild acceleration. All right, mild acceleration time. Let's see how it does. And like 3/4 throttle. You see what I'm saying? It'll throw you back in your seat. And in that video that I did, it was a YouTube short 0 to 60, and it was of an Outback Touring XT. You guys can go watch that if you want. But I was like, man, this thing really starts to rip. And I got a lot of like flack for saying that. They're like, ah, you don't know what ripping is, you don't know how fast a car really is, and blah blah, all that kind of typical internet hate stuff when it comes to that stuff. But if you guys got behind the wheel of this thing, you'll realize quickly that it actually is pretty quick. I know it's not like Trackhawk or Durango Hellcat level speed or Ram TRX level speed, but for what it is, it will surprise you of how quick it is. Like, it really puts the power down very, very well, and it honestly is kind of shocking, you know, how well it accelerates. Now I'm going to do a little half throttle acceleration just to show you guys what that is like. So I'm going to do a couple little accelerations, half, 3/4, maybe full, we'll see. But here's about a half throttle acceleration. I'm not sure if you guys can pick it up, but you can hear the blow-off valve, at least from my perspective as the driver, which I always like. And I did a video with a Chevy Colorado Trail Boss, and it has the new 2.7 liter. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. But basically what I was trying to kind of connect the two is that GM incorporated a lot of turbo noise on that vehicle, which is something that I always appreciate. You know, it kind of adds to the driving experience. At least me as a car person, truck person, etc., I always appreciate little touches like that. But, you know, it just makes the car a little bit more fun. I'll see if I can pick it up on camera here. Listen. Can you hear it? I don't think the GoPro is going to pick it up, but I'll try it one more time. It's like a kind of sound, and I don't think the GoPro is going to pick it up. But you know, I gave you a couple chances and opportunities. Maybe it did pick it up. I don't know. Normally it doesn't. Also, Harman Kardon sound system sounds really, really good. For a vehicle at this price point, I'm definitely a fan of the Harman Kardon sound system. And I believe the Harman Kardon sound system on the Wilderness is also new for 2024. Don't hold me to that, but I do believe that that is the case. And then also, heated steering wheel, new to the Outback Wilderness for 2024 as well. So I do like the changes that they did make for the 2024 model year. I do think that they were kind of needed, and I'm not 100% sure about the Harman Kardon sound system, but I am pretty sure that that is new to the Wilderness for 2024. And the way that I look at things, at least, you know, if anybody from Subaru is watching this video, you guys need to make, even on the lower trim levels, maybe not like the base, but definitely like the premium and so on and up. You guys need to make the Harman Kardon sound system like an option. I don't care if it costs 800 bucks. You need to make it as an option, because, you know, somebody who's buying the premium doesn't necessarily want to go out and spend, you know, $5,000 more just to get the Harman Kardon sound system. So to make it a little bit more fair to those kinds of people, you guys should at least make it like an $800 option, again, to get the Harman Kardon sound system. But before we end today's video, I am going to do a full throttle acceleration at this light from a stop once it turns green. So let's see what that's like. Lights green, hammer down. And that's a little 0 to 60 test for those of you guys who waited until the end. You guys get rewarded for waiting with that 0 to 60 test. But if you guys enjoyed the video or took anything from this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I am now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your guys' help. So please, if you would, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.